Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Qonita Salsabila from Universitas Sebelas Maret. Today, I'm going presenting my paper. The title is Mathematical Literacy of Junior High School Student in Solving Problems PISA Content Quantity. Introduction. Mathematical literacy is defined as students' capacity to formulate, employ, and interpret mathematics in a variety of contexts. It includes reasoning mathematically and using mathematical concepts, procedures, facts, and tools to describe, explain, and predict phenomena. It assists individuals in recognizing the role that mathematics plays in the world and to make the well-founded judgment and decision needed by constructive, engaged, and reflective citizens by OECD 2016. Mathematical literacy level according to PISA. One of international assessment that assess mathematical literacy is PISA. PISA is Program for International Student Assessment. PISA, initiated by the OECD, is a study to evaluate the education system that follow by more than 70 countries around the world. Every 3 years, 15 years old students from randomly selected schools take tests in main subject of reading, math, and science. So, there is 6 levels of mathematical literacy by PISA. Level 1. The first level is the lowest level that exists in students, including the ability in answering clear questions according to relevant information in a known context. They are able to identify information in general ways and act according to the simulation. Level 2. Level 2. Students can choose relevant information for one source with one solution. Students also have the ability to work on basic algorithm, use formula, carry out the procedure, and give the precise reason for the completing result. Level 3. Level 3. To solve problems, simply strategies can be applied. Another skill that emerges in ability to communicate the result of interpretation and representation based on different sources of information. Level 4. Students are already competent in expressing the reason in a clear context, then explaining and communicate based on interpretation followed by the logical reason. Level 5. At level 5 has appeared the ability to develop and work with models in complex situations, identify the problems, and establish the assumption. In that process, students selecting, comparing, and evaluating appropriately problem-solving strategies that relate to complex problems that connect to the model. Working strategically can be seen from the bird thinking and reasoning process. It is also exact in connection the representation of symbol, formula characteristic, and knowledge related to the situation. Even students are able to reflect on work, decide, formulate, and communicate interpretation followed by reason. Level 6. There is a high level of logical reasoning ability to apply concept, knowledge, mathematical symbol, and operation, generalization, and information based on study and modeling in complex situations. In addition, students are capable to reflect, formulate, and also communicate appropriately the findings and can interpret, express the opinion, and suitability with the real situation. PISA questions are developed based on 4 content. There include the first is shape and space, change and relationship, quantity, and uncertainty. One of 4 content of PISA question is quantity content. Quantity content includes the ability to reason quantitatively, to present something in numbers, to understand mathematical steps, to count by heart, and make assessment. by OECD 2013. Questions on quantity content are mostly implemented in every life, such as in exchanging currency rates, determining bank interest, shopping, calculating tax, measuring times, measuring distance, and others. This is Indonesia PISA result. As you can see, based on the result of PISA study that published by OECD in the mathematics domain is ascending student mathematical literacy skill, Indonesia's ranking tends to be at lower. From the text above, indicate that the mathematical literacy ability of Indonesian students is still low and indicate that the quality of education in Indonesia is still lagging behind other countries. But the result of Sari, Hartoyo, and Hamdani research in 2016 tell that there is student who have an upper level of ability are able to reach level 5 mathematical literacy on quantity content. From the result of the study, it is known that there are students with high literacy skill, which is contrary to the Indonesian PISA score. Therefore, there will be a possibility that there are other Indonesian students who also have high mathematical literacy skill. And then result and discussion. For number 1, it can be seen on that page that students are able to write down the important information contained in the question and can solve them. It can be seen from the students are able to write down what is known in the question. Students also already know what the question wants. It can be seen from student write down what is being asked in the question. Students are also able to relate the information they obtaining to solve problems in question properly and correctly. Furthermore, it is also supported by interviewing with students. The student can explain what they are doing. It can be seen from the first question. Student can explain what they know in the question. Then student also explain what is asked in the question. Students are also able to explain the steps of working on the question. It can be seen from how students answer each step by step of it. From this, it can be seen that students have mathematical literacy skill equivalent to level 1. It is ability to information in general way and act according to the situation. For number 2, it can be seen in picture that student can interpret what they know in the question by the picture. Student can correctly place the recognized angle in the picture. Student also transcribe what is asked in the question correctly. Student can answer question using information they have obtained correctly and appropriately and can make the conclusion for the result. Students are able to use basic skills and basic procedure in solving problems. So students also use the concept steps. Moreover, it can be supported by interview with students. The students can clearly explain the reason they draw as in the picture, and they can also explain what is being asked in the equation. Students are able to use the basic concept of triangle, and they are able to apply in solving problems. Number 2, students can provide logical reason for the answer they have complete. From this, it can be seen that students have mathematical literacy skill equivalent to level 2, which can interpret and recognize contextual situations that directly require conclusion. In addition, students can select the relevant information for one search with one solution. Students also have the ability to work on basic algorithms, use formulas, do the procedure, and provide precise reason for completion result. And for number 3, it can be seen in picture that student can read in their own language with X in the question. Also, students read the information contained in the question. Students are able to answer questions in a structured and clear ways. Students are able to choose an easy solution according to them and able to make conclusion for the result of their work. Students answer correctly and exactly. Furthermore, support by interview with student, the student can explain the step of solving problems number 3. Student can also explain the step in solving problems and explain the reason for using the steps. Student answer all questions properly and correctly. Even student can make conclusion for the question. Then it can be seen that students have mathematical literacy skill equivalent to level 3, namely the ability in working with step for procedure clearly for solving the problem. A simple strategy is applied. Another skill that appears is the ability to communicate the result of interpretation and representation based on different sources of information. Number 4. For question number 4, it can be seen in picture that students are able to answer the question properly and correctly. Students answer question in their own language and words. It can be seen from student answer that student represent their own answer. Students no longer use formula, but they using their own creativity and thinking in solving the real problems in question number 4. Additionally, it is also supported by interview with students that they are able to explain solving the question in number 4. Students are able to provide logical reason that support the answer. From this, it can be seen that students have mathematical literacy skill equivalent to level 4. It, it is called the ability in working effectively with models and concrete and complex situations relate to the real world. Students are able in using clear contextual reasoning. Then students explain and communicate based on interpretation followed by logical reason. And then question number 5. For question number 5, it can be seen that students only read the useful information in solving question. Students are also able to understand what is asked in question. From here, it can be seen that students have the ability to identify the question. Students are able to solve problem properly and accurately. Students are able to calculate the normal price after the discount. Also, students are able to compare the two prices. Students are also able to choose the proper discount for answering the problems in question. Students are capable to determine the appropriately and effective stage in solving the problem in number 5. Furthermore, it is also supported by interviewing students that students are able to explain the reason for solving the problem. Students are capable to explain step by step in detail and systematically. The student reasoning ability can also be seen after they explain comparing two prices. Then it can be seen that students have mathematical literacy. And then for number 6, students are able to analyze in their own language at the right time to chat. Students are also able to determine and compare the exact time in Berlin as well as Sydney. From the result of student answer, it can be seen that students are capable to choose the exact solution strategy according to their own opinion. Students are able in connecting the information provided to get the right answer. Student reasoning abilities are already to be seen from the result of answer where students rate the time per hour at the time in Sydney and Berlin until they found the exact time on the question. Furthermore, this is supported by interviewing students. It looks that students are able to explain the thinking process that they did in solving the question number 6. Students are explaining the reason for choosing to rate in 1 hour intervals. Students are also able to give their opinion that in their opinion within an interval of 1 hour, it is easier for students to answer the question number 6. From interviewing students, it can be seen that students are able to communicate their idea. Students are also capable to choose the right strategy in solving problems. Students are also able to give logical reason. From this, it can be seen that students have literacy skill equivalent to level 5, namely the ability to develop and work with model in complex situations, identify the problems, and establish the assumption. In the process, students selecting, comparing, and evaluating appropriately the problem-solving strategies that relate to complex problems relating to the model. Similar previous research. Shahwit and Putra Bangsa in 2017 finding that there are students with auditory and kinesthetic learning style who are having mathematical literacy skill equivalent to level 4. And then Wati, Sukiyati, and Muhtaram in 2019 finding that the mathematical literacy ability of students with high mathematical ability is quite good, where students are able to reach to level 5 mathematical literacy skill. And then Sari, Hartoyo, and Hamdani research in 2016. There are students who have an upper level of quality are able to reach level 5 mathematical literacy on quantity content, which means they have reflection competence, which is the highest competency of mathematical literacy. So, there are still students in Indonesia who have a high mathematical ability. Conclusion. Based on the result of research and discussion, it is concluded that there are students who have high mathematical skill equivalent to level 5. It is called the ability to develop and work with models in complex situations, identify the problems, and establish the assumption. In the process, students selecting, comparing, and evaluating appropriately the problem-solving strategies relating to complex problems that relate to the model. Working strategically is seen with bird thinking and reasoning process, and it is precious in connecting symbol representation, formal characteristic, and knowledge related to the situation. Even students are able to reflect their work as well as formulate and communicate interpretation followed by the reason. So, thank you very much. And